Hello all. In this video, I'll be discussing about Leetcode problem number 169, that is majority element. So you are given an array nums of size n and you have to return the majority element, that is the element that appears more than n by 2 times. So let's see the example. Here you are given nums as input, and in this specific case you can see that 2 is occurring more than n by 2 times. So that's why the majority element is 2 and that is only the output. So one of the possible solution to this can be you have to just count the elements occurrences, and whichever element is having a count of greater than n by 2, you have to return that element. So for this specific case, we can see three elements. One is occurring 3 times, 2 is occurring 5 times, and 3 is occurring 1 times. So as of now, the length of array is 9. So 9 by 2, its floor can be 4.5, and then its floor is 4. So 2 is having a value, that is count, of 5 which is greater than 4. So that wise 2 will be returned. But for this specific case, you can see that it is using extra memory for counting and maintaining the count of each and every element. So can there be a better solution? Yes, we can think of some in place solution. Let's go ahead with the second one. Another obvious can be that you have to just sort these elements, since they are making sure that the majority element is occurring more than n by 2 times. So if you can just sort this element, then the result will be 1, 1, 1 and 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 and 3. So since again if I count as 4.5, so the floor will be 4, right? So here if I look at the fourth element, then it is basically 2, that is the majority element. So this can be a possible solution. First of all, sort the elements and then return the floor n by 2 indexed element. So 2 will be returned. But again, since you have used sorting in this, it will be higher in time complexity. So can there be an efficient solution which can do it in one pass? Yes. Now let's look at the final approach, that is approach number 3. Cancel out the candidature of majority element with each non-majority elements, and the remaining element at the last will be the majority element. What it says, say for example you are having A, B, C, D, A. So here the majority element is A. So what it's telling is just cancel out the candidature of majority element with non-majority element. So this cancels out one case, C is cancelled out with second case of A, third is cancelled out with third occurrence of K, and finally the element that is remaining is still the majority element, and this can be returned. So this is the basic uh, approach behind it. This is the basic logic behind it. So you are just cancelling out the candidature of majority and non-majority elements, and then finally the remaining element that remains at the last is returned as an output. So how we can code this? So let's convert this into an algorithm which takes care of two variables. One is count and second is candidate, and it is further having two steps only. It says that if count is equal to 0, then update the candidate to the present element, and if that present element is equal to candidate, increment the count by 1, otherwise decrement the count by 1. So now let's see how we can do this. So as of now I have taken I as the variable which will be traversing across the elements, and my first candidate is 2. Okay, so since count is 0, so I can update the candidate to 2. And now as the second step says, since 2 is equal to the present element, so I'll be incrementing the count by 1. So now the count is 1. Now traversing ahead, count is not 0, so no need of step 1, but I'll be again seeing since 2 is equal to 2, that is they both are equal, so that's why I'll be incrementing the count further by 1, so it will be incremented to 2. Now in the next case, the candidate is not equal, right? So I'll be now cancelling out the candidature now. So okay, I'll be decrementing the count by 1. Then again in the ahead, uh, it is again not equal to candidate and count is still not equal to 0. So I cannot update it. Okay. So here I'll be cancelling out the candidature by decrementing the count to 1. So in the next case, it will be a 2 and count is 0. So the candidate will be updated to 2. Now again, I'll be seeing if candidate is equal to candidate. So it will be incremented by 1. Now again in this case 1 is not equal to 2, so that's why the candidature will be decreased to 0. Again in the next case it is 0, so candidate will be updated to 2 again. This is just keeping track of the majority element as of now. Okay, so it will be 2 again, and the count will be incremented by 1. Then again it is 2 and these both are equal, so count will be incremented by 2. And in the next case it will be 3, so 3 is not equal to 2, so that's why the count will be decremented by 1. And then this is the end of the pass. But end of the pass says that the majority element for this case is 2, so that's why candidate will be returned at last. And this is how we can just achieve the results within one pass. So this is one of the efficient solution. Now let's switch over to the code. The code for this is very simple as per the steps. The count and candidate both are initialized to 0. Then in the pass, if count is equal to 0, I have updated the candidate as nums I. The second step says if num size equal to candidate, increment the count. Otherwise, if it is not equal, then you have to decrement the count. So once this complete loop is run, then at the last you will be having the candidate, which is the majority element. So that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day.